Hi, this is Sir RJ, and today we are going to learn how to convert decimal into fractions. So these two are actually used, or they are very much integrated with measurements, especially in the metric system and the English system. We will cover those in the next few meetings. But right now we will focus in changing decimals to fractions and fractions to decimal. So actually any rational number can be changed from fractional form to a decimal form. So how is it done? Let's say for example, we have a fraction 4/5. To change that into decimal, you have to divide 4 by 5. So we know that 5 cannot be divided by 4. Sorry, 4 cannot be divided by 5. So we have to add a 0. So now we can divide 40 by 5. So the answer would be 8. And then 8 multiplied by 5, that is 40. And then we subtract 0. So the final answer, 4/5, is equivalent to 0.8. Let's have another example. Let's say I want to convert 3/4 to decimal form. So you have to divide 3 by 4. So you know that this is not divisible. We have to add another 0. So automatic, this is 0. 30 divided by 4, that would be around 7. Am I right? 7 times 4, that would be 28. Right, 28. And then we subtract, so this is 2. And then we add another 0. And then 20 divided by 4, that would be 5. 5 times 4 is 20. And then we get 0. So the final answer is 0.75. 3/4 is also equal to 0.75. Last example. Let's say we have 1/8. So we cannot divide 1 by 8. We add another 0. So this one is divisible by 1. 1 times 8 is 8. And then we subtract, we'll get 2. And then add another 0. So this one is divisible by 2. 2 times 8 is 16. So this one, if we subtract, it will be 4. We add another 0. This one is 5. 5 times 8 is 40. And we get 0. So the final answer is this one. 1/8 is also equivalent to 0.125. Now, we are converting fractions which have an exact, shall I say, exact value. What if there are trailing numbers? So we have to employ or use rounding. So let's say we have 1 over 3. Oh, there. So since you cannot divide that, we add another 0. So this one is divisible by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. We subtract, we get 1. We add another 0. So again, 3. 3 times 3 is 9. We subtract, we get another 1. And then we add a 0. So the process will be repeated all over again. So this one is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. You'll get a 1. You have to add another 0. So if you will notice, there are trailing 3's up until infinity. So what should we do? In this case, you have to round off. Now, what are the rules in rounding off? If it is 5 and above, you add 1. If it is 4 and below, you omit. Now it depends where you should round off. If the problem, or it is stated in the problem that you have to round in the tenths, you have to round on the tenths place, or the 10th place. If the problem says you have to round off in the hundredths, you have to round off here, hundredths, or the thousandths. So let's say you have to round off in the tenths, or no, in the hundredths. The answer would be 0.33. But if we are going to round off in the tenths, the answer is 0.3 only. Now to convert decimal into fractions, you have to use the powers of 10. What do I mean? Let's say, for example, we have a decimal. We have 0.7. Can you see that clearly? Okay. Like I've said, powers of 10. So you see here that in our decimal, we have one place in the decimal. So we are going to use 1 power of 10 to convert that into fraction. So this 0.7 will become 7 over 10. Another example, if we will convert 0.8 to fraction, since it has 1 decimal place, that will become 8 over 10. But 8 over 10 is not the final answer because it still has a GCF, or a greatest common factor, which is 2. So this one will become 8 divided by 2 will become 4. 10 divided by 2 will become 5. So the final answer is 4/5. Okay? Next. Let's try converting 2 decimal places. So let's say we have 0.2 23. So since you already have two decimal places, sorry, my ink is a bit low. Instead of what we did previously, uh, we had a denominator of 10. Now it will become over 100. So it will become 23 over 100. And since it doesn't have any greatest common factors, this one now is our final answer. Another example, if we have 0.25, so it will become 25 over, again, two decimal places, so two zeros. Since this one has a greatest common factor of 25, so it will become, so divided by 25 over 25, it will become 1 over 4. So that's it. I hope you learned something from me today. Thank you. Goodbye.